The Prime Minister is refusing to rule out privatising the embattled KiwiRail or carving off Inter-Islander.
It comes after revelations of eye-watering contractor spends by the state-owned enterprise, which Newshub understands topped $8 million. Political reporter Amelia Wade has the details.
From train paying to ferries, KiwiRail has had its Kiwi fails, and the Prime Minister isn't ruling out setting the state asset adrift.
Are you at all open to the idea of privatising KiwiRail?
What I'm very focused on is making sure KiwiRail becomes a very high-performing organisation.
That's not what Christopher Luxon promised on the campaign.
No, asset sales is not something we're focused on or not interested in. Well, we've said asset sales is not a focus of for us in this government.
Not a focus isn't a rule-out. Coalition partner ACT wants KiwiRail retailed.
I think there's a serious question about should the government own a ferry company or a train company or put more of its capital into schools and hospitals or roads that we desperately need.
I don't see any program and policy ever announced at this point in time in the Cabinet or in our policy discussion about privatisation.
Ministers also wouldn't be drawn on the possibility of taking the Inter-Islander off KiwiRail.
We've got no current plans to do that, but we're working our way through the whole question of how you replace the ferries, and we're starting that discussion.
So you could, in theory, sort of outsource the Inter-Islander service? Is that on the table?
Well, anything is possible.
So you're going to sell off the Inter-Islander operations?
Advice coming, no decision to be made. Thank you.
In the wake of the Aotearoa's grounding, the government's refusing to say whether the penalty fees for breaking the old contract is more than the estimated $551 million for two new ferries.
They are commercial conversations. It's important that they are handled by commercial organisations negotiating those contracts.
Will it be cheaper and quicker than the one you can?
It'll be a much better deal, yes, and that includes being cheaper.
KiwiRail itself is also coming under fire for its recent hiring of global management consultants McKinsey & Company to do a strategic review. Newshub understands the bill for that contractor spend was to the tune of about $8 million. Isn't it to the tune of $8 million that we've been told?
I've been told that I'm not allowed to disclose that figure, but the figure was astounding to me when I learned it. It was too much, and I've expressed that very directly to the board chair.
A week after she expressed her concern, the board chair stood down early.
So the others could be losing their jobs as well.
That could be the case.
KiwiRail's decks could be cleared further.
OK, Amelia, so what has KiwiRail had to say about all this?
Well, not much to us. We've been refused interviews for 2 days, but in a generic statement on that contractor spend, outgoing board chair David McLean says it's the board's expectation that KiwiRail lifts its commercial performance and so requires a business transformation. And McKinsey had the right experience on how to advise them on how to do that. However, that has been openly criticised by the Finance Minister, who questioned why an extremely well-paid executive weren't the right people to ensure that the business was running efficiently. And just on whether KiwiRail could be sold altogether, it does sound like the Prime Minister was attempting to be cautious with his language because he is a Prime Minister in a coalition and so can't unilaterally rule something out without taking it to Cabinet.
Kia ora, Amelia. Thanks for the analysis. It's Amelia Wade live at Parliament.